All right, we're should be live now again. And theoretically with the right words this time.
Lies, lies. Oh, ho, ho.
All right. I think we live.
Are we good?
I think we is.
Yeah.
So, Justin, I've had Proto Men stuck in my head for like a week.
Which one?
I'm blaming you. Light up the night.
Yeah. I mean, you should blame me. It's my fault. But,
Oh, yeah, Tyler, we're going to talk about it. S'mores Dark Charge is probably my favorite, but I did not get to sample the 2-year Pappy Van Winkle Maple Barrel.
Okay, it seems to be less angry now. That's exciting. Okay.
So, we're doing Secret Santa at work this year, and I got somebody, and I kind of want to talk to her boyfriend and say, look, I'm going to need you to let me steal your cat for like 5 hours so I can gift her her own cat.
All right. Gonna kidnap.
This would require a little bit of detective work, as I've never met her boyfriend. Nor do I know where they live. So
I feel like you may need to go a different route.
Or I covertly follow her home from work one day. Nothing sounds creepy about that at all.
Not at
No,
all.
no.
Yeah, Tyler, I guess they got a ton of the Pappy barrels last year, and they just left half of it and let it keep going. So we've got 2-year aged for 2 years in the Pappy barrels that once held maple syrup. So it's like Pappy CBS, essentially.
All this and more on Have a Drink.
But you have to drink it at like straight room temperature. Otherwise, some like bad flavors seep in. But I've been told from people who had it that the 2-year age comes off a lot heartier and what are you doing?
Sorry.
Like roastier than the 1 year.
All right. Oh, we're good to go, guys.
Darn!
Everybody ready?
Yep.
Okay.
What are we drinking first?
Oh, good point.
It's in the dock.
Is it 60 minutes?
Yeah.
You know, it's a good show when you start with the 60 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
You know, it's a good show, and you've got the beers we've got. Holy crap! I actually pulled it out on the first try this time. I didn't pop open like 4 beers first.
Nice.
Is that me?
Welcome to Have a Drink, the show where you learn along with us about what you drink. I'm Brittany Lee Walker.
I can't find a damn bottle opener. Justin Frazier.
I'm Christopher Walker.
I'm Casey Price.
What a great
I drink
opening.
semi-professionally. You'd think I'd have this.
Check your wallet.
Yeah, I was reaching for it as I was talking. I finally saw it somewhere.
I was gonna say, don't you have them like hidden in the wall? Like, isn't the microphone
I'm
actually?
surprised it's not.
Why don't we have that?
Yep.
I have 2 on my keys, and yet, like, I'm sure we'll have problems finding one eventually.
Oh man. Oh, so if you look down. Oh, what's that down in the drink camera? Oh, what's down there?
bottle cam. I need to like.
Some sort of bottle. The screen is very tiny for me, so I can read the show doc.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
No, been a little busy over the past few days, chasing a few things down.
At least some of us have had time to.
Sorry, had to show a couple of things off.
Jeez.
Ah.
So many bottles. Oh my god.
So, while some of us have been hunting for CBS, all the beers you were sending to Maine. So you managed to find some CBS, which got released. I got Dark Charge Day and CBS release backwards in my head. So I kept expecting it to come out today, and I'd have a shot at it. So it came out yesterday. I was like, well, I'm screwed. I got no chance.
Back here, it's my understanding that they're probably not going to get it for another week anyways. So
Yeah, that's really odd. I was wondering about. There's a lot of places up here that didn't get it until late, like today even, and most of the places are just like, nah, we're gonna do a raffle in the coming weeks. But yeah, so
Bottle
CB.
cam shows my, like, chin. I'm like, nope.
Get over it.
CBGB.
So CBS turned out to be an actual big deal. You may have thought that it was gonna be. People were stampeding, and it was a downright shit show. The places that I went.
The perfect way that he described it when he was telling me was that it was like in Jingle All the Way for the Turbo Man doll.
Like a crowds chasing
Man,
rumors.
That's a really specific reference.
That's exactly what it was. People were like calling other people, and it was like, they've got 3 cases of it at this place 2 towns over, and there's no line. And then everyone just like screams and runs, and I got to get to CBS.
I want to watch that movie now.
Right.
You know what? I don't think anything makes me want to watch that movie.
Oh, come on. That's one of my Christmas staples. Gotta watch that every year. Hey, I don't know about you all, but we've already poured a beer.
Yeah, I've got
I
one
have
in.
too. We found my wallet, and I found a bottle opener. Just a weird sentence to say, but
Not for us, I don't think.
All right, guys. Yeah, we're starting with 60-minute IPA, a continually hopped, super fantastic East Coast IPA brewed with a slew of great Northwest hops for a powerful, balanced, citrusy hop character. ABV 6%, IBU 60. I'm pretty sure everyone's very familiar with this beer.
I have to ask, was super fantastic literally in the description for the for the beer? Like the brewer's description?
This was from a review of all of these beers.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I didn't pull
'cause that's a
directly
little
from their
much.
site.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's some possible either allergies or some possible head cold, but I don't get a whole lot of aroma out of this.
No, I'm not getting much on the way of aroma either.
Really, I am.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting like some piney, citrusy, light citrus though, not
Yeah.
heavy citrus.
I'm getting
No, no.
very. If I could smell something, it was like very, very light. I wasn't picking up a whole lot, but
I wouldn't trust anything I say because, you know, I've been drinking since 5 a.m.
that sounds about right.
That sounds really awful if you don't know the context around it. Like,
So, okay. I guess I'll just come in here. It's like, oh, what's everyone been up to? Well, I've been up to a lot. So we've had a hell of a weekend. Officer, we have had a doozy of a weekend. So, CBS was yesterday. You may have seen before. I managed to find a bottle, but we tried to go and see if we could score another one. There was a raffle up at Jungle Gyms, and that turned into a shit show really fast. So we did get pours of it, which was nice. So we're standing around, and one of the guys who's just getting into craft with us, this was one of his first releases ever, and his was the first ticket pulled.
Oh,
yeah.
he's got a golden ticket.
Yeah. So they had 9 cases of it, I think is what he said.
Wow.
And they were doing a case an hour that they were going to give away. And then after they burned through the first case, they kept reading off numbers. And I was like, they've done more than a case. And I looked up there, and they were burning people's ticket drawings for KBS then. So they would do a case of CBS and then move on and do a case of KBS. And I was like, I would be super pissed
Yeah.
if they pulled my ticket during that.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and they did it. So there's one line that you had to wait in to get tickets for the drawing, and you had to walk up past the bar because they did Bourbon County almost the same way, but you had to buy a pint to get the ticket to enter the drawing for Bourbon County. Little illegal. So they actually, like, someone called them on it, and they got in some big trouble. And so they made it very known. They're like, you do not have to buy a drink. You just have to wait in the same line to get a beer, walk, go all the way up there, go past it to the end of the bar to get your ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm already confused.
Yeah, it was not, well, it's well thought out on their part to get you to spend more money.
Yeah,
Right.
but
Well, and so we waited in line. Aside from getting the ticket for the raffle, we also we got to try it, obviously, but you also get a free glass. So we got Founders glasses, which was kind of nice. It says like Founders on one side and Barrel Age Series on the other side. It's kind of like a tulip glass, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is fine, and it was like full. Got a normal large glass and everything. I say that because we got a free glass, or not free. We got a glass today. It's not a normal size glass. It's a taster, but so the big, I don't know, the hubbub in our group, that was that 2 of us out of like what 5 of us that were there, I think numbers. But 2 of us, were like, yeah, I'm not impressed. And of course, one of them was me. So and of course, and then I was on, if anybody saw my Twitter feed, I was going back and forth between Craft Beer Joe and the Jungle Dims beer guy on Twitter. And he's calling like, the KBS the lesser of the 2 and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I prefer KBS, I think. So, because to me, drinking it, there was a weird medicinal bitter quality that happened, and then on the back end, or not on the back end, but like when it started to warm up, straight rubbing alcohol. That's just me, and we all know my taste buds are very strange.
No, you're just weird because no one else got any of that.
Eric did. So
no, Eric had some kind of cloying thing that he was going on about.
No. He agreed with me on the rubbing alcohol. Like both of us had the same opinion on the CBS. Like neither of us were like about it as much. So.
I got almost no booziness on it. I don't know.
Yeah,
where
definitely.
you'll...
No, it's not that it's boozy. It's when it warmed up, and it was like it wasn't boozy. It was isopropyl alcohol is what it tasted like. So yeah.
Poison. Tasted like poison.
Yeah. Or some.
Yeah,
really
I had a friend that
strong
actually
stuff.
did get to try it. Down here, Hopcat was having their having a special, like, here, we're gonna put it on draft all day Friday, and I'm like, I have to work.
Well, you guys
10
will get to
o'clock,
try it when
and
you're
I
up
would,
here
in
for New
fact,
Year's Eve.
enjoy some CBS in the morning, but
That would be nice.
Honestly, looking back on it, I should have used a sick day. But
That's what I was thinking.
it was such a busy day that there was no way. Like,
Yeah.
anyway, one of my friends did get to try it, and no, he's more in Brittany's camp. He was not impressed.
Yeah.
I liked
okay,
it.
so that's
And I've
3
heard-
of us, son. 3 of us so far.
And I've heard that's starting to be the buzz online right now as well,
Oh.
which is interesting.
Like, he said he liked it. He said it was good, but it wasn't like.
I've had
Knock
worse
what-
beers.
What was it?
Knocks
25 a bomber?
26.
At
26 a
25.
bomber.
25, 26. Yeah,
Yeah.
it depends on where you were, but there wasn't a huge difference in price.
Yeah.
Now, granted, our tasting was... How much was it? It was, like, not very much, like, for our pour.
Oh no, that was one good thing. They could have gouged the hell out for those tastings since they were giving you the glass to keep, and it's the Founders, barrel series glass. It was like $8
$8,
for, and
yeah.
it wasn't like it wasn't a little taster. They were giving
No,
you
it was like half a glass.
Yeah, you were getting like a good 6-ounce pour, and that's
I'm
probably
sure
why
they got the glassware was donated
Oh, I'm sure.
from
Yeah.
Founders.
Yeah, and they
That was-
got what was it? The keg blew in 14 minutes. So I don't even. Was it the first? Did the first 100 people even get to get
I don't
everybody
even
get?
know.
I don't-
Yeah, I mean, we were there. We were in line
It
for a
went
while,
fast.
but yeah, thankfully we got it. But yeah, that wasn't bad, and it was they did it as a whole like founders night, because we also after that got a Zaka, for $3.
Pint night.
Oh.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Azaka.
Wow. Wow.
Azaka.
Wow.
I don't-
So, real quick, we've been talking about beers that we don't currently drink on the show. What does everybody think about the 60-minute? Real quick.
It's great.
mean-
Really good for a 6% 60 IBU IPA. This is kind of like the gold standard for old school's IPAs, old
Yeah.
school East Coast IPAs, not
Yeah.
these New England styles. It's just a really good beer. It's not super dry like some of those West Coasty styles are. So, keep that in mind if you're more to that style. But, it doesn't have a huge cloying finish on it, which is nice.
And not that bitter kick that you get from so many of the West Coast. Now, I don't know if that's from
Yeah.
our taste buds getting used to it, but I mean, I've had some crazy bitter stuff recently, so I don't think it's totally that, but it's definitely not like kicking you in the face with the bitterness from the hops.
I'm gonna say I like it. It is. I like the 90-minute more, but
That's fair.
We'll
60
get to
will do in a
that.
pinch.
Yeah, turns out. Spoilers, I guess. I don't know.
Something I've had a lot. It's one of the things that started getting me into IPAs, which
Yeah.
is a weird sort of starting point, but
Well, yeah, because we've talked about that before. Like the IPA thing is weird because if you go stronger, like Imperial Double IPA or whatever, it doesn't have that kick of bitterness that so many people are turned off on from IPAs generally.
yeah, and
Depends
this
on
one depends on how they.
which one,
Right, right.
which one you're going with. But yeah,
But like the
Tyler
one,
says East Coast is the Beast Coast.
yes, I suppose.
Beast Coast.
I'm already seeing a sticker of that in my head.
East Coast is the Beast Coast.
Hmm.
I wanted to rip my shirt open, but then I like this shirt, so I wasn't going to do that.
Probably a good idea.
So yeah, my boozy adventure, that was just the start. That's editing out the literal like cutting of scenes from Jingle All the Way of me running through liquor stores looking for CBS. Before all that, it was just me, so I'm like, no one will believe me if I tell them about this. Like running into back rooms, it's like, where's the CBS? But I got them up. And today, like,
Popping in and going, your kids, Marty. Something's gonna be done about your kids.
so we finished with that. Finally got back here. Had a few to tie on the evening, and got to sleep for about 2 hours before it was time to get up and go get in line at Braxton.
I was smart and went to bed. Just want to put that out there.
Had to go get in line for Dark Charge Day, and the first guy in line was already there when we showed up because all he did is walk outside. He was there to close them down that night before, and as they were locking the doors, he walked outside and set his chair up.
Yeah, he slept there.
Oh,
Literally there since
mean-
midnight.
I'm going to I'm on the fence about chasing beers like this. I'm almost to the point where I'm just like, if it's something I have to stand in line for, I'm probably not going to stand in line for it anymore. I'm just going to go and find something that's very similar and drink that instead. And then if I were to stand in line for something, I'm to the point now where I'm going to go full out and go tent and camp and like just have a portable wood burning heating stove there and make it a real event instead of just something to kind of sit out in the cold.
Yeah, that's kind
That
of
was
what
a thing today.
everybody was cooking out. They're like literal little camps where everyone was making breakfast.
Yeah,
But-
it was burritos.
Now I'm thinking of is like, man, I could really go for like just waiting in a line frying up some sausage and bacon.
I mean, that's if we do this, let's make it a deal and like actually bring in a pound of bacon and a couple pounds of sausage
Well-
links, and set up the wood burning stoves and
Someone did
get a
had their
tent.
little grill and did 4 pounds of geta, and we did geta, egg, and cheese and sriracha burritos.
We'll do that
Yeah.
in a line, and then we'll just put up have a breakfast.
Yeah.
have a breakfast, $3 a burrito.
So Tyler, all right, Tyler's moving us along here.
But
But s'mores. So all right, an interesting phenomenon occurred in line. I had to bring it to Brittany's attention when she got there because did you get to witness it happen? So the guy set up about 5 feet from the door. He wasn't like right in front of the doors. He gave it a little bit of space because he knew they're going to be moving stuff in and out. And for some reason,
Oh, you told me about that.
the line was. This started when there were like 30 plus people stretching down the block. Line starting at the front door, but he left about 5 feet. Everyone would walk up and immediately jump at the very front at that 5 feet. For some reason, everyone kept doing it, and we're like, "Oh no, they're selling it down the block. This is where the line ends." Yeah, that's like, what the hell are you people thinking? Like, I could not grasp why, and people kept doing it.
A lot of newbies, I feel like. Well, there was some newbies, and then of course there's like we were talking about like how weird beer releases are because there's like the 3 people we've seen at like every release, but we don't know their names, but we recognize them instantly. I'm like, oh hey, sweatshirt guy and guy with beard, like we've seen you at
Guy
the
with
other
beard
3.
is really not very specific.
It's like
No, I
every
know.
male at a beer release.
Literally everybody I think there had one, but like but you as soon as I see the people, I'm like, oh hey, that guy. But like, we don't know their names. We may get them on Untapped, may not. It doesn't. I mean, but yeah. By the time I got there, immediately, because I slept. But I took an Uber to get down there because I was having all my Lyft drivers canceled. Like I had 3 different Lyft drivers. I had the app ready. 3 drivers in a row canceled, and I was like, so Google Maps, apparently you can do an Uber through it. And I was like, we're gonna do that. And I got down there around just before 10 a.m. and there were probably 100 and some people in line. And there you could smell the breakfast and like everybody's like all around. And then of course as soon as I get there, somebody's like, do you want some of this? Like everybody just the bottle share.
Okay, the share.
I checked into all of mine as like tasters on Untapped. So
The best ones that I had, I forgot, and they're gone. Like seriously, some of the best beer.
The Lost Abbey Serpent Stout was really good.
Bunch of Lost Abbey stuff floating around. Creek Cantillon was floating down the line. A bunch of Cantillon floating down the line. It was absolute insanity.
There was a really good saison that I checked into. That was oh my gosh, that was so good. But yeah, all kinds of
Speaking of
beers.
sharing, let's share our thoughts on the 61.
Yeah, so moving on, we're on to a marriage of 2 Dogfish Head innovations, beer and wine hybrids, and continually hopped IPAs. Dogfish took its best-selling 60-minute and added Syrah Grape Must to create an IPA with equal parts fruity complexity and pungent hoppiness. Comes in with 60 IBUs because it is a base of that 60-minute IPA, and then 6.5% instead of the 6% ABV, showing you that they actually the grape must that they added in actually added some alcohol content to it as well.
Yeah, no, and has a little bit maybe of a kind of a I don't know if I want to say earthy-ish aroma, but I mean my nose might be broken today. I can't quite tell.
Did
This
exist
is,
before the
and
pack?
just because I do drink a lot of wine in addition to beer, this is almost identical to what you would smell with Zinfandel grapes.
Okay. The other thing I was going to say, because I had a little sip of this already, if wine tasted like this, I'd be down.
So this is the reason I wanted to get this pack so badly, because this is
Well, it's the only way you can get this back.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
the only way
I've
you
never
can get this
heard
beer.
of this before. That's why.
that, and we wanted to do Dogfish on the show, and they don't do a sampler pack.
This smells great.
Oh my! And
Yeah.
hey, that works in great with one of the variants that was done. I can put it down here at the bottle cam. the Dark Charge Braxton Labs variant, which came in this
That was really good, actually.
like beaker style bottle. And this was one that they're like, hey guys, go ham. Bourbon barrel aged, re-fermented with Pinot Noir grape must, aged in Pinot Noir barrels. And I've yet to try it.
It
Oh.
tasted as if someone put a stout and a saison together, but it was good.
They only had 80 bottles of it. Something happened and they lost a bunch of them. Ooh.
This is good. I like this a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what does everybody think about this? Then we can get back to
Yeah.
discussing Dark Charge Day.
Yeah. I think this is a much smoother to be 60 IBUs. You don't taste this 60 IBUs like the last one.
Yeah.
I love the color.
So
It does have that it's from that Syrah grape, I'm guessing, but it's got some of that winey flavor. That's not really a word, but
Well,
you know what I mean.
it smells
Wine
more
like.
like it than
There you
tastes.
go.
Yeah.
Though.
But it adds a little bit else to the table. So again, if I had more wine that maybe was closer to this, maybe I'd like it more. I don't know, but this I like.
Yeah, I'm on board with this. This is really good.
Wonderful, yeah. God, if they sold this in 6-packs, they'd make all the money in the world.
Oh.
I don't know if they make all the money, but
Well, as,
What do you think,
as if
Casey?
they need it, like they already make, people know what Dogfish Head is, that's for sure.
it dries out a little bit more than the last one does, so you don't get a tinge of that sweetness there at the end, and kind of it's a little bit less sharp at the end than the last one was, than the 60-minute is. It is. I think that Syrah grape is probably one of the best that you could add in. The Syrah Zinfandel, that sort of variety.
by the way, I do want to point out the color because when I poured this thing, I hadn't actually read the bottle. I just saw what we were pouring and went, huh. Well, that's a new color.
Yeah.
That's an IPA. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't really know what to call that.
It's like
It's
not
like-
quite amber, but
It depends on the lighting conditions. It could
Yeah.
be the amber of like a Sam Adams lager.
Or it could have almost like a purple reddish.
Kind of a violet ruby-ish, I don't know, somewhere
but
between those.
Depending on the light, it will change.
it almost
Yeah.
looks like Zinfandel with something else, like to make
Just
it like a
watered down.
darker Zinfandel.
Yeah, or a maybe raspberry
Mm.
beer color.
You can't not do it. King Bob.
All right. I didn't say the words. All right.
Fair. But no, this is great. I would almost say get this back again just for this beer, like to try it.
I'm gonna need at least 6 of these packs.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm trying to rush it. I'm turning this into the Braxton show, and that was kind of intentional, but not, because it's what I had to talk about, people. Sorry.
Don't
So-
approve.
Everyone just went stupid. I don't know what's going on. People just kept walking up to the very front of the line, assuming that's where they went. We're like, this is the front door. You see the people now stretched around the effing block, and they're still walking up there. I did not. It was infuriating. Okay, moving on. We stood there for hours and hours and hours. We finally got all our beers. It was delicious. It was Dark Charge Day. Insanity. What were you guys up to?
Oh, okay. I assumed there was more.
It was really good food.
Not a
yeah, beer
whole lot.
infused food.
I did break in. One of my friends did let me try some of Ethereal's. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I know it was an Imperial Stout,
Mm.
but it was this delicious coffee-ish wonderland that I need to find again.
Sure.
So I'm gonna have to ask him next time I see him. Like Tyler's, what's a Braxton? He
Just
demands
the
to know about s'mores. Chris.
Okay, there was the s'mores, which was, I think, the better.
I checked into that one and had and actually wrote comments on it because I didn't write on everything. That one, you can definitely taste chocolate. If you've gotten a chance to have the New Holland Dragon's Milk s'mores, it is not the same thing. First of all,
No.
you can definitely taste the barrel agedness but in this one, but you definitely taste chocolate. There's a hint of graham on the top, and then it finishes with like suddenly it's like marshmallow. Like it's weird. It's like it's like the aftertaste is just like, oh, and there's a marshmallow.
Suddenly, a s'more appears.
Yeah, kind of.
It uses marshmallow.
Like
It's super effective.
It's weird, but like it's really good.
So where was this marshmallow quality in the sweet potato casserole brown ale they did?
Yeah.
Instead of doing like, adding
Instead of
that
just
quality.
putting the marshmallow.
Yeah, instead of being like, oh, we just put a marshmallow on the top of it. And it was like, no.
Because when you're doing a sweet potato casserole, you put the marshmallows on, like physically put
Yeah.
melted marshmallows on.
Mhm.
So I get that idea. Wasn't my favorite, but
In non-Braxton stuff that we tried today though, I got to try the Lagunitas rum barrel aged ale.
Brown sugar.
Brown sugar, sorry. And that was good, but not as good as I was hoping it would be. I think I got ruined from well, Bob, you got to try it too. We were up here for the rum barrel aged snow shovel from Braxton, the winter warmer.
Mhm.
They did not have it this year.
Which we may have had confirmation it's coming back
Yeah.
next year, as in like late January into February.
Yeah.
maybe that's in time for when I'll be up there.
Ooh, that's a good point. Yeah,
Oh
maybe.
yeah.
But yeah, so I've leaned a lot toward rum barrel aging, and with the winter warmer, with all the different spices and stuff, the rum barrel age actually made a lot of sense to me. On the brown sugar, it was good, but it felt like it was lacking something. Like it wasn't spectacular. Like nothing really stood out about it. It was just kind of there. It was sweet, and it was fine. Like I would drink it again, but it was fine.
All right.
So, yeah, because they had like the guest taps and stuff. I did get to try the collaboration we were talking about with Sweetwater, the peach thing.
Oh, yes.
I don't like peaches.
I was gonna say
so-
I'm hit or miss on peaches in beer. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes
There's not a strong peach flavor in it, so
it's a very subtle peach. Now, because I was comparing it to
well, peach is such a fragrant and bombastic fruit.
well, no, because like I was comparing it to the Abita peach harvest
Oh.
that we had.
Fair.
Yeah, and I was
peachy.
like, because that one stood out, and I mean, even though I don't like peach, that one's really good. But this was just like barely there. So
Now what I'm thinking of is like
I don't know.
school lunch peaches just dumped onto a.
Yeah,
I'm just like, man, I kind of want to eat one now.
yeah.
All
Like
that-
Abita had a
There
whole
is a
different
very
take to
distinct
it.
peach difference between like the peaches
Actual-
in a can and like peaches with fuzz on the outside.
Yeah,
I've never had the ones with fuzz on the outside. I don't
the
want them.
real peach.
I want to go back to that school and get.
But yeah, it was good. I'm still not a huge peach fan, but anyway, that was there. So as far as non-Braxton related stuff, a little bit, Sweetwater had a showing there, and it was nice because they did have guest taps of other stuff there, which is good.
By the way, we had I will say, not a huge, mind-blowing thing. I had some Shokabesa this week, but I had it while one of my buddies stopped over. Our friend Matt, who, not a fan of the darker beers,
Yeah.
and he looks at my fridge and he's like, "You got anything?" Yeah, I was like, "You want to grab a beer or anything?" He's like, "Got anything that's not dark?" Open up the fridge. None that's not show beer. Oh, here you go. Have a Helles. What's a Helles? Crack it. Pour it into a nice Pilsner glass for him. He looks over and goes, "Yeah, that's about what I want."
Beer ass beer.
I had some. Well, I had some. I think Uenta's
Oh yeah.
Helles, and he was just like, "All right, fair enough. This is actually really good." I was like, "Yeah, no, you're not gonna go wrong if you grab them."
Yeah, almost anything from them. So we got to do one of their we got to find a sampler pack or something for the show for that. Yeah. Before we're still drinking through this. We did have some announcements we wanted to go over, of course, as usual. Our next episode is going to be live on Saturday, December 9th, covering Trappist breweries.
I gotta get to work.
I say, I was saying is that if like, are we still good to go?
Yeah, no, we're fine. I've got the next couple days completely off. The general shape of the episodes in my head. I just actually have to put the stuff in.
Okay.
So,
the episode after that is going to be live on Saturday, December 16th. That is tasting through the Samuel Adams Winter Classics pack. So, the kind of closer to Christmas, big holiday theme. I think we've had it before as far as like personally, but they usually try to put a new beer in there, like some kind of new flavor every time. So that'll be interesting. And then we want to remind everybody, of course, we record live every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern now. So those shows are going to be live, even for the audio episodes. They'll be put into the regular feed, but of course they're going to be done live, just like the video is.
We do tend to do those no video because I need time to wash my streaming shirt. So
right. It's almost like the opposite we do, because we do kind of a pre-show with video and then we just turn it off. Like, it's strange, but yeah, that's that concept. But yeah, so the twitch.tv/haveadrinkshow, if you're catching this after the fact, and then the video shows the video tastings rather are also posted to YouTube. So.
And yeah, New Year's Eve is going to be a crap ton of stuff.
Yeah.
So no show on the 30th, right? Just one on the 31st.
Right. Yeah, because normally it would be on the 30th, and we don't have that on the website yet. Again, because we still got to figure out details.
What our block is, aren't we?
Yeah, we have no idea on time or how exactly it's working.
The last time you know what? I don't want to say because I don't know if that's 100% correct on the
yeah.
The time
So
frame.
like we're still working that one out, but we'll be streaming on New Year's Eve. We got time off requests in, so.
Yeah, it's gonna be a busy time from then until like really the end of January, because we've got another thing planned for the end of January. So
that just got a bit bigger.
May relate to Cincinnati and.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm dumb.
We may be doing a live on location episode, so
with a collaborated thing for another podcast. So
it's fine. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
All right.
All right. What's our next one here, guys?
I'm still drinking through this. Sorry.
The next
one's the
brown
Indian.
IPA.
Yeah.
Brown dark IPA.
Boisterous brown ale meets a well-hopped IPA. It's brewed with aromatic dark malt, organic brown sugar. Why do you taste so good? And dry hopped liberally for your holiday drinking pleasure. ABV around 7.2%, IBU around 50. And let me clean out my glass, and I can take a look at what it looks like. One hopes brown.
It is quite brown.
How now, brown beer?
How now, brown beer?
I would say, why wasn't one of us drinking this for the last episode?
Oh, good point.
Because we had something else to drink.
We did.
Very dark, opaque.
Looks like we couldn't stay away. We're back down the Brown River.
Oh man.
Okay,
so on this one, a lot of that roastiness. A lot of roastiness to it.
Yeah. That's what Daddy likes.
Yeah, this is
yeah.
how we talked about in our brown ale recipe. This is one of those that they added a roasted malt to it instead of doing the brown malt. Just the way American IPAs or American brown ales are made. This is a brown IPA, so it's even more intense on that side.
Yeah, I'm saying this one also has it's a bit more head than, say, the last beer we just poured.
Absolutely, yeah.
That last one, that was very thin head, didn't hang around very long, not a lot of lacing or anything. This one, robust,
Almost
strong like bull.
Glass.
Yeah.
we must have poured ours weird, because the last one I thought had a lot of head retention.
No, I poured the last one really shitty. That was just me
I
doing.
was like, wow, this is sticking around.
That was me failing with a pour. That's all
Sorry,
that
some
was.
of us are trained professionals.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
So-
Casey.
I'm a huge fan of this one. I just have to say, because I don't
It's
know.
okay.
Jesus,
On my end.
it almost looks like a stout.
It really does.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Yeah, Well, on the video it looks a little darker, but it definitely got an amber hue to it in the light.
You can see through it, but just.
Hold it up to a light. It goes
Yeah,
even
you gotta
a
hold
little
it
I
up
don't
to
know if
a
you can
light
tell what's
to-
on camera with me right now, but a little foam there.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
like
no.
that a lot. I love the roasty taste. That roasted malt.
That's pretty good. I actually do like that.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, no, I can actually taste. There's the roastiness, and then there's that brown sugary.
Yeah.
Kind of taste a bit of that in there too.
Oddly
kind of
enough.
molasses.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely molasses. I was gonna say it almost tastes like.
I hear molasses, and now I'm thinking of like like when it explodes and slowly engulfs your town.
What the hell?
Buckets die.
Get out of the way! Eventually.
We use coconut sugar, and that roastiness, that toasted kind of quality, that comes out in this a little bit too. Because oddly enough, coconut sugar doesn't taste a lot like coconut. Turns out. But I've get
Coconut oil does.
Yeah, that's true. But like for some reason the sugar doesn't. But like I'm getting a lot of that in this too, just because I'm like used to that taste.
I'm
really
loving
good.
this.
I'm a fan.
So there was.
You said I'm loving this. No,
Oh, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. So
want a
me and Casey
cheeseburger.
stumbled across some other stuff from Dogfish that have been going on, and I think we binged like the whole little YouTube series they've got,
Oh yeah.
Project
yeah.
Extreme Brewing, and it's pretty amazing looking. It's a book they did, partnered with the Brewers Association, and it's a lot of the stories behind a whole bunch of legendary beers. And then he's sitting down with all his old friends from the brewing industry, like some true legends, and they talk about these beers. And it is, if you've got like an hour to kill, just sit down and plow through these, and you will not be sorry. It's seeing Sam Calagione be very like over the top genuine. He is an amazing guy.
Does it feel so good?
It does.
I'm trying. Okay, here's the like a little announcement video thing.
The more I make that joke without explaining it, the more I wonder like how deep a cut that is now. Like I feel like it's a joke Tyler gets and us, and that's it.
The 7
I
other
don't
people
get
that
it.
we know who like.
Chuck Mangione.
Do
He
the,
plays It Feels So Good, and his name makes me think of that.
Gotcha.
Can you guys
See,
hear
now
that
I
at all?
explained it,
We've
and the
got
joke's
volume
ruined.
down.
Ah, here we go.
That's what he wanted.
Extreme beer, that's where you need the brewer's art, the innovation, the creativity, the boundary pushing that comes with looking at any ingredient that's out there, any creative process that's out there to let you put a really creative thumbprint on what was a traditional brew. Which is why I enlisted Jason and Todd Ahlstrom, the beer advocate community, to help me on this
beer
journey.
advocate.
We did sort of a bat signal call to some of our favorite innovative extreme brewers that participated in the book, but also have participated in this movement and helped it flourish. Brewers like Brian Selders of Post Brewing, Tommy Arthur from Lost Abbey, Joe Short of Shorts Brewing in Michigan, Augie Carton from Carton Brewery, and man who almost needs no introduction, really the father of the modern American homebrewing movement, Charlie Papazian. We've invited all of these guys.
I was gonna say someone knows that name because I don't.
Yeah, I had.
Big Charlie P.
So Casey,
Met him in person.
yeah,
Nice.
he, as you were like boasting about, but
Oh,
it's, yeah,
Tyler, no.
tell
No,
everyone
Tyler.
about Papazian, because I didn't know about him, so I'm not gonna
Yeah.
be like, oh yeah, I know.
Sorry, I
Let me
don't want to draw
grab
attention
something.
to it, but I look down in chat and I just say, "See, we brew our beer with chewed corn."
Yeah.
Got to
No.
get that saliva in there to get the correct fermentation.
Ugh.
So Charlie P. Has written quite profusely in brewing.
Oh my goodness.
Let's go more with it's not profusely. That's like if something's like prolific.
Ah.
Prolifically.
Yes.
Yes, and he, founder of the American Homebrewers Association. That alone is worth it. But yeah, he's had a few travels, had a few beers across the world, and has brought us some good classification systems, I guess you could say.
How do I get to travel around the world and just drink beer?
Well, if you were the CEO of Dogfish Head up until last year, you could just quit your job at Dogfish Head and go travel the world to drink beer. Literally, that's what Dogfish Head's CEO, not Sam Calagione, who is president and head of the board,
Yeah.
but their CEO from he had been there for like 12 years, but he was in as like the financial officer, and then he moved up to CEO. So he decided to quit last year. Sam Calagione stepped back in and was doing the interim duties, and now that he's traveling the world, Dogfish Head has opened up a new job listing for a president and chief operating officer of Dogfish
Casey,
Head.
you should get on that.
Yeah, no way on this one.
They need a man with exquisite chest hair for such a position.
I mean, I like the way that they do list it out, because the way that they talk about what it means to be the CEO is the ideal candidate must be pretty fantastic, offering an exceptional track record of developing and implementing commercial strategies that have killed it. I mean, who writes like this? Bachelor's degree preferred. MBA could be nice.
Gross.
They're being
Bros
brutally
write this.
honest. I mean,
the best part about this, the self-important need not apply. We seek humble leader who can laugh at himself or him/herself and seek opportunities to instill joy at work.
Alright.
Must
Oh,
bring a benevolent
no.
spirit.
Don't bring joy. I do laugh at myself a lot, so I'm out.
Bundle of goodies. What you get? Competitive compensation, bonus potential, 401k, company match, fabulous healthcare package, dental health, free beer, and an enriched amazing work.
You're gonna need that health care.
Yeah.
I like it though. I think
Move to Delaware. Hey.
Milton, Delaware.
So
No phone calls, pretty please.
this is a simple thing. It's dumb, but I do really like the bottle caps.
yeah,
of
their bottle caps
Dogfish
are.
Head.
They're always pretty.
Oh yeah. The 90-minute is different though.
It is.
I feel like the 61-minute should be, or the 61 should be different.
Yeah, probably, but I don't know. I do like that nice, like little coppery,
Yeah.
shiny, like a penny.
Yeah.
Find one of those caps, you feel like you found a penny.
So what did you guys think? Like, I think Bobby said that you liked it.
Oh yeah, the
This one?
Indian brown.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's probably not going to be the first beer I reach for, but it's probably something that I could reach for again and again. I think that's the
I want a Dogfish Head bottle opener.
We haven't gotten a
It's
lot
like,
of
yeah, no,
swag
I'm
from
jelly.
them.
Yeah, no, I do like this. It's got a lot of nice, not like a whole lot of overpowering flavors, but there is like that roastiness that is very
Yeah.
present.
Big, nice roastiness that when it comes to Dogfish, it's a ton of IPAs, and to get something nice and roasty like this or the Worldwide Stout usually just takes
Yeah, I was
me
gonna say,
off
or
a
it's
little.
malt,
Yeah,
or
they're
it's
just
nothing but malt.
Yeah.
like, oh, it's either all the hops in the world or all the malt in the world. Like, they are just, again, he's perfect for the Project Extreme Brewing, because he's just like, no, I think it's the best thing about watching those videos is you get to see exactly how passionate Calagione is for this. Like, he is over the top excited about everything. He's just like, yeah, let's do it. And then they're like running to the bathroom. He's like, but first I gotta pee. And then everybody's going to the bathroom. There's like 5 people crammed in the bathroom.
Yeah, I imagine that's a pretty consistent problem at a brewery.
Yeah. Speaking of which, does
Need a
anybody
whole lot
wanna
of
read about
urinals
the
to
brewery?
contain the man law of 1 urinal space per, or at least walls.
So we've been talking about Dogfish, and some people watching may have no idea who Dogfish Head is.
Oh yeah, we haven't done that part yet.
Hmm.
In case you haven't heard, Dogfish Head is a brewing company based in Milton, Delaware, founded by Sam Calagione. Opened in 1995, it produces 2,062. Yeah,
262,000.
thank you. You'd think I would be able to read numbers correctly. Yeah, 262,000 barrels of beer annually. Dogfish Head has been a rapidly growing brewery. It grew nearly 400% between 2003 and 2005. The brewery takes its name from Dogfish Head, Maine, where Calagione spent summers as a child. And sharks attacked. Select brews, including many of the brewery's seasonal and one-off selections, can be found in 31 states, plus Washington D.C. Yeah, I stopped. I was like, really, poor D.C. Dogfish Head also licensed Dogfish Head Ale House with 3 locations in Maryland and 2 locations in Virginia. That doesn't sound that far off to go visit.
No,
No, it's
Hours.
I'm Virginia.
if you look, the
beer-
Dogfish Inn isn't exactly that far away.
Beer paired food and I just looked over to see Tyler. There's a WTF. There's a Dogfish Head, Maine. Apparently, I'm assuming it's for rich white people.
It's got to be like the Hamptons or something.
White people rich. White people
White
rich.
people rich. Beer paired food and vintage bottles of Dogfish Head seasonal beers are available at their ale houses, as well as kegged offerings of their staple beers. The company.
Let's stop with that white people rich and explain that for a moment.
That's from Diamond Club.
Because those that do not watch Brian Brushwood
are missing out on a number of very select, very
Yeah.
insular memes.
It could definitely have a different meaning.
Well, I guess maybe, but I hear that and I just go, yeah, okay. I get what you're saying.
It
Sorry.
sounds bad if you don't know. It's not really meant to be
It's a
that
song
that
making
racist.
fun of rich white people problems.
Yeah.
You can find it on the internet. Search YouTube, white people rich.
It's more
Okay,
of
there
a
we go.
cry me a river, you poor white person.
Yeah, that's the vein that is going in. Anyway,
Living in the suburbs, got 3 daughters.
white people. I'm trying to read. Don't sing song
Now
lyrics
we're
at
just
me.
gonna
You know I can't resist. Anyway, they also have kegged offerings of their staple beers. The company has a restaurant called Dogfish Head Brewing and Eats, along with a seafood restaurant called Chesapeake and Maine.
What?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I did not know this.
Yeah, that only sources seafood from the waters of the Chesapeake Bay and Maine. Both are located in
No idea.
Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. We-
Huh.
I'm trying to remember. Have we actually done a whole episode on Dogfish Head before? I feel like we did early on.
No, I
No.
thought so too, and we haven't. And I was like, what?
She's like,
What?
no. Like, why don't we just pull the
Yeah, I was
stuff
like,
about the brewery?
from
I was
the
like, we haven't
audio
done.
episode.
We've
Nope.
not done it. Has not been done yet.
All right, that's like 4 or 5 episodes off, but we'll
I was
get
like,
there.
we just had a Mandela thing for this. I was like, no, we totally did obviously. Like,
We've done
Nope.
enough news stories about them, so
Yeah, I just
It
feel
feels
like
like
we've
it.
talked about them so much that I assumed that we had done a whole background on them. All right, whatever.
Okay, so Chesapeake and Maine. I want to do an episode on this restaurant.
I wanna
brewery
go.
restaurant.
Just food.
So they have a brawl bar selling oysters, of course, because it's the Northeast and that's what you do.
Have an oyster.
They have this new oyster that they have created called Smoke in the Water. And they say it's developed in collaboration with our friends at Hooper's Island Oyster Aquaculture Company. These unique oysters are settled in holding pens filled with Chesapeake Bay water, infused with culinary wood smoked salt.
huh?
Smoked salt. Oysters grown in smoked sea salt.
that sounds
Yeah,
just fine.
that's how you get those smoky pearls.
I'm all over this.
Yeah, I want want to go to any of their restaurants at this point, like the Dogfish Head Inn, just a general restaurant, like anything.
I just want to eat everything.
Yes. No, I'm always on board there. Can you imagine the
I wanna
crab
be
cakes they would have there?
Where the
Sorry.
drinkers are. I want to see them drinking.
Lobster poutine.
Oh, God, yes.
Yes.
Fresh Maine lobster, mozzarella curd, lobster gravy, and herbs.
Jeez.
All right, you can't see it because the camera's not panned down that low, but there is a massive erection over here, which
Oh.
would not happen after eating that poutine. My blood would basically congeal.
Oh my God, we
I
need to
need
go
that.
there. Like, why haven't we gone there yet?
Quick, to the cars right now.
It's
Have a
like,
good
why
show,
are we
everybody.
still sitting here?
Yep. Adios, guys.
All right.
I
For time's
wonder-
sake,
I
we
am
need to
off
hustle into this
between-
next one.
I'm
Yeah,
off
we're-
between Christmas and New Year's already. I'm debating taking that trip right now.
I mean,
Tyler, it's
Bring
old
something
news
back?
for you, not for us. It's here in Kentucky. It is good news.
we
and-
don't get good seafood, okay? we're
It's like we just found out there's a Santa Claus, Tyler.
we're landlocked. We can't, there's only so much.
Yeah, our oysters are not up to par.
Yeah.
What's
Man,
I just want a crab
Casey,
cake.
let's just go right now. We're gonna eat some oysters, some lobster poutine.
I have to confess, I've never had
I'm
lobster.
all for this.
I've never had
they
oysters. So I
say?
don't know if that's,
Oh, okay. They
yeah.
say you should only eat oysters in months that end with R. So September, October, November, December. If I do it in December, we're good.
December.
January R.
March.
February R.
April.
March.
Yeah.
June.
Or-
I think I'm
All
gonna.
right, let's
I'm
go
gonna do
on to this.
Okay. So
Go on to this
90 minutes.
A continually hopped Imperial IPA whose powerful malt backbone stands up to the extreme hopping rate for a pungent, not crushing flavor. 9% ABV, 90 IBUs. Let's find out.
So I feel like this was somebody's like first foray really into IPAs. Wasn't that you? On
It was mine.
well, it
Well,
was yours.
'Cause
I knew it was one of us.
my first one that I fell in love with was the Citradelic from New Belgium.
Well, that was all of our like first really one that we were like, oh yeah, that's.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was this and the session IPA from Founders with me kind of going like,
Oh,
maybe
all
this
day.
can be okay. And then like some of the I think Ballast Points
Sculpin.
grapefruit sculpin, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Like these were
Before
the
they
things that
sold
were
out.
starting to get me into this. And this right here, they're like, oh, pungent. Nothing about this is pungent. This
No.
is the most balanced IPA I have still ever found.
Mhm.
Yeah, the balance
Like-
in this is amazing with the malt and the hops. Like both are really done up to the nines, but both like complement each other
There's
so well.
no bitterness.
You don't taste that heavy 90 IBUs.
No.
Yeah.
Like it's one that it's there, I'm sure, but your palate doesn't notice it.
It disappears quickly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And all you're left with is just some of that. Hold on, let me get another taste just to make sure I'm speaking correctly.
Mm.
Do you know the 90 minute was released before the
Before the
60?
60?
Really?
It's oh god, it has a nice like almost citrusy, like whole end experience, like the finish plus just before it. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe that part where you're drinking and you get one flavor, and right as you're about to actually finish, you're getting a entirely different one, and then you stop, and then it's more citrus.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Clearly,
That's
we need to
delicious.
learn more vocabulary on this one.
Yeah. Casey, real quick, what was the story? Do you remember the story about the birth of the 90 minute and the tabletop football thing?
So, Sam Calagione, he was really picked up this whole idea of the 90 minute IPA through watching cooking shows. and he saw a demo where they started to season this soup all the way through, and not just, you know, at the very end adding in your seasoning, or at the very beginning, because, you know, if you add your seasonings at the very beginning, all the aromatics boil off. If you add them all at the very end, you know, you don't get that full flavor all the way through. And so he came in and said, why shouldn't this just happen? Why should this happen with just food? Beer has some of these same needs as well. And so I think the way he did this was he went to a thrift store and actually got one of those electric football games.
Oh yeah.
And it has like a vibrating table. You put these little guys on it, and they vibrate. I think they're magnetic, and they vibrate across, and that's how you kind of play the game. It's play is a.
From what I understand about those games, you don't play as much as you arrange things and watch them slowly shift, and random chance takes over.
So if you put this at the bottom, it turns into a shaker, and then you can put your hops on that. But then you put a thing on top of that, like a, for lack of a better term, something that looks very similar to industrial ductwork for HVAC systems in buildings. I mean, it's basically
sort of like a big metal funnel.
Pretty much big square funnel that brings them down to where you're shaking the hops in, and so it feeds them continuously. And shakes it continuously into the beer. And so, yes, you could. Some brewers will go in and add at, you know, 10 minutes left in the brew, 15 minutes left in the brew, 60 minutes left in the brew. This system kind of does it continuously through the entire process. And so he created this so that the hops could fall down into that wort and at a consistent rate through the entire 90 minutes of making this beer.
Hold on, I just had an idea for a thing, and I'm trying to find the hop recipe for it. Shake, shake, shake a Morello, shake your body line. Shake, 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 Simcoe, shake it all the time.
I like shake, 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 Simcoe.
Yeah. I'm just kind of going down the hop list of an IPA, of a 90-minute clone.
But yeah, in the background of those videos, he has the actual table that he originally used.
The first ones before they actually were able to purchase real industrial versions of this.
I think that's the best thing about them, because it reminds me, like, we always joke every time we have to do a mobile thing, because we're like, here's our duct tape kind of setup today. But I mean, that's what they did. Like, Dogfish Head is like, well, if we put this over here and this kind of moves this way, maybe we'll, and then throw these weird spices in this, and that's what they do, and they still do that, even though they're kind of a household name, I think, for craft beer lovers at this point. So I like that stays true. Like, you can tell that the creativity and the excitement because of that creativity is still present. So it's refreshing.
Yeah, it's still, to me, his excitement about his beer and his product is infectious. Mm-hmm. When you see him so passionate about it, you're suddenly like, God, yeah, I need to go get some Dogfish. Like, he's a great marketing guy. Yeah. But it is an amazing product, and it's good to see them still with that, like, Frankenbrew spirit out there. Like, no, I want to try this. We're going to do this. We'll make it happen one way or another.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say it's gone, but I guess now we're just now getting the word out of those brewers like Sam Calagione that did these crazy off the wall type things. We're not getting it from the guys that are currently trying to push together a system that's just duct taped together. But I feel like that's kind of romantic, having that sort of, yeah, we didn't have much, but we just threw this together because we didn't know any better way. I like that.
Romantic in the literary and like movement sense, not in the not in the candlelit.
Yeah.
Although maybe
that's
kind
of
whatever.
I mean, if
boat, I guess.
Have you seen the rap video from Sam Calagione?
Oh.
They start to play it, yes, in some of those episodes of Project Extreme Brewing. They start to show because they had a short-lived rap career.
We don't have time for it.
It's bad.
Maybe in post.
It's
we're
really.
We're just gonna recommend.
rap group is called the Pain Relievers, RELIEVAZ. Yes.
We're just gonna recommend
And
go
so-
find Project Brewing on YouTube or Project
Extreme.
Extreme Brewing on YouTube and watch all the things. Just watch it.
The one with shorts is also hilarious. They do this like 10-minute skit of getting to the Dogfish Inn that is absolutely hilarious. And I love that. What's his name from Shorts? I always forget it.
Oh, the guy with the mustache.
Well, yeah, he has that amazing handlebar, or not handlebar, but the big curled up mustache.
Pringles mustache, I guess. I don't know. Like Pringles man.
Oh, and by the way, 90-minute IPA apparently has 78 carbs in it.
Of course.
So
Casey's devastated by the
going to go on
carbs.
low carb beers using any of these. I don't believe.
You're gonna love our light
Sorry,
beer
Casey.
episode coming up eventually.
I poured myself 2-ounce samples, and the rest is getting poured into the drain.
Oh, wow.
It's one of those. I wish
That hurts.
we lived closer because then like you just pour it
No.
into my mouth.
Well, Bob.
I could go recap. They'll just be a little bit less carbonated.
Just work them out. Just work it off. Go do some sit-ups after you're done.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, maybe not sit-ups. That's a bad idea.
let's see,
Uh,
78
no.
carbs. Let's see how many.
Just walk. Just walk
How long will
around
that
for a
take?
while.
All right,
Oh, well.
So okay, at the end of the day, this pack.
buy this pack.
Buy
If-
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Buy it for that 61 alone.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's...
I mean, these are all like world-class beers.
Yeah, these are
Yeah,
all
this is-
61
amazing.
alone is the one that you're not going to find, I guess, anywhere else. But what I will say, if you're trying to get someone into craft beer and you
Good
want to
way to
introduce the
start.
Dogfish Head, this is a pack to do it with.
That's true.
If they're trying to show them IPAs in general. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at the very least, you could get this just for the 61 and the 90-minute. You know what I mean? Like, and then
And we arranged this so that the 60 and then the 61 came after. But if you were, we did that so we could taste the 60 and then know what they added to it to make the 61.
Yeah.
But if you were just trying to get somebody into beer, I would probably go 61 first and then go 60
Huh.
IPA.
I would go
brown.
I would go like. Hey, you know what? Let's do a quick little ranking of what we think about the quality of all of them. I'd go 90. It's a toss-up between 61 and the Indian Brown.
Hmm.
Depending on the day, those could go either way. And then 60-minute would be my least favorite of the pack, which I enjoy. Not saying it's the worst.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's the one out of these, like smidge less.
Like if you had to having to rate them, it isn't as great as the other ones, but it's not bad.
Yeah, and for me, the 60 and the 90 are on the same playing field. I consider both of those amazing beers.
Mm.
61 just right barely below those two, and then Indian Brown's my last on there.
Right, because you're not about the roasted malts as much.
No,
yeah.
I'm not a roasty beer, dark beer. I mean, like I like dark beer, but it's not my go-to.
I
That's
feel like
not my
that
favorite
one's
flavors.
the most subjective as far as like you're gonna love it or you're not. You know.
I would say descending order. Starting 90 is my favorite, and then how we had them, just start at the 90 and go backwards. That's
Just invert it.
yeah. That's how I like them. And overall, I love this pack. It's fantastic. Again, great for anyone if you're a diehard into craft or you're getting people into craft. It's either way great.
I'm
Anybody
gonna
remember what we
say
paid for this?
My order has to be the
I
Indian
don't order
Brown.
AC.
The Indian Brown, the 61, the 90, and the 60. And again, it's not that I didn't like any of them. It's that if I had to pick an order, that's
Yeah.
just where they are. But
Like-
they're all amazing.
Like double-digit orders of magnitude over the Guinness pack we had
Oh,
forever
God.
ago.
That's like our gold standard for like this is the things by the Guinness pack. What is the standard by which all bad packs are measured?
I was going to say it's our inverse gold standard. It's the measure by which all bad.
It's
It's the
what-
measure by which.
Yeah.
Which Star
We make
Trek is
sure-
that? That all
Star
bad?
Trek 4.
Star Trek 4? Yeah. It's our Star Trek 4.
I'd have gone Star Trek 1. That's
Well,
the motion picture is pretty bad.
I guess it's hit or miss.
The the 61. That's one of the thing. Like I was just now looking online, but it makes perfect sense. Folks online are saying pair that 61 with some like marinara meat sauce
Oh yeah,
Italian dish.
that would be great.
I wish I still had some left over because then I'd go eat the rest of this pizza I've got.
So, which
Yeah,
makes sense
like it
'cause
would
it's
be
like a
that's like the
wine-like
perfect
thing.
pizza beer.
It makes total sense.
I need pizza.
Oh my god. Don't mention pizza on this show. Like I'm so full right now.
All right. Speaking of full, I think we're a
We've got
little
a
over
full
on time.
episode.
Let's roll into some posts.
All right, you can subscribe and get some great resources at haveadrinkshow.com. Follow us at Have a Drink Show on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and please rate the show on iTunes to help spread the word.
Don't forget, you can tell us your favorite drink, ask a question, or just leave some general feedback. You can use the email address feedback@haveadrinkshow.com. You can also use the feedback page on the website. Sorry, my mouth got tired. Also,
yeah.
send us a message on Twitter or Facebook. We will also pay attention to those.
We'll try to. And guys, let's not drink and drive. Drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly.
Don't drink this pack, then drive.
All right. Check us out every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern, whether audio or video.
Trappist beers next week.
Yes. Once again, I'm Brittany Lee Walker.
I found my bottle opener, and I'm Justin Frazier.
I'm Christopher Walker.
And I'm Casey Price, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
So,
Woo. Cheers.
Bye.
bathroom break.
So, I got to show off the 2-year aged in Pappy Van Winkle barrels that once held maple syrup. Dark Charge 23.
I mean, we're going to have to actually pull up video for that for you to show off.
Do what?
You'd have to pull up video for you to show off on that. No one else will see it but us. Actually, no, I won't even see it.
No, we're still live.
Oh, okay. Video's back on. That's what. There is a delay between what I see
Yeah.
and what.
Oh, yeah, for you.
Sorry.
But I love this box because then it's like, oh.
Oh, that is a nice box.
It is.
I'm seeing like 30 seconds ago, so.
Yeah.
So it was really funny after the 61, because like I had like a little bit left in the glass, just because we were trying to move along, and I poured it into our Stein thing.
Dumpstein is.
It looked just like a bottle of like the cheap wine, like the Zinfandel wine. It's like the pink color, like from
cheap wine.
like it was. I was like, oh dear.
By the way, I was at work and Red Wine came on, and I came real close just to breaking out
I was like, did you die?
loudly,
Just-
obnoxiously singing it just because of humor.
Oh, God.
That's great.
One of my coworkers listened to our smoked beer episode
Oh,
just so they could hear my review of the
the ham.
The ham
of
beer.
ham.
Hey, smoke beer.
Smoke ham every day.
Ham every day.
Oh,
No, that
guys,
it makes more sense when I know that Rausch beers may have a ham flavor, but Jesus.
Yeah.
I
feel
I mean,
odd.
I liked what I had, but
Did yours taste like ham?
no. So,
I cannot wait. I can't wait. I'm excited. I don't know if we're going to do it New Year's or some later time, but
Oh,
the miracle fruit will be a fun
Yes.
episode.
I'm so scared.
Especially for Super Taster Brittany.
That's why I'm scared.
Okay, real quick, since official show is done, I still have to brag more. So, Braxton, they
Go
had
ahead.
2 bottles they didn't have a lot of because you had the Labs
We
variant.
should call it Bragston.
Braxton. Yeah. I like that. So they had another one that they scored some bourbon barrels that were used to age pure vanilla extract, and then they dumped a
What?
cherry version of Dark Charge in it. So we got
Wow.
cherry vanilla. And
Oh.
it was my favorite going through them. Through
Tip it. The camera's like at a weird angle. No, tip it. Nope. Okay.
cherry vanilla. There we go. But yeah, it was my favorite until I finally was like, oh yeah, the s'mores is on tap. I should go get that. It
Yeah.
is delicious.
That is
But
the one thing I do miss that I didn't go. Not to buy the bottles, but just because they had the taster thing.
Yeah.
so
Oh,
that
you didn't
was
share the glass. Yeah.
yeah. I didn't share the glass. I get down at the bottle cam. Everyone look at the bottle.
So we weren't gonna get this, and it was $20. It turned out it was $20, and we thought it was like a big snifter, like the ones we already have.
All the pictures you look, it's a
Yeah,
it's a
you
tiny
can't
little
tell.
snifter.
But so it's actually just a taster glass. Like, I don't know. For scale. But it's a little Dark Charge. Yeah, there you go. It's a little taster glass, a taster snifter. For $20, you got that and 3 tickets. And you got to use those tickets on any pour anywhere there. And then
Yeah.
those tickets
Only
would
3 tickets.
Huh?
Only 3 tickets.
Yes, but those one of the tickets is a pour for literally anything they had, guest half, whatever. And it also included the straight from the barrel pour that they were still doing. So it was nice. Plus, if you get the taster glass, the refills, it's like at Oktoberfest. The refills were only $4 as opposed to the $6 for a full cup.
No, that's the
So-
opposite of Oktoberfest, where the refills are actually cheaper.
True. Okay. Yeah. But you know what I mean. Like, at Oktoberfest, there's the difference in price between like
Yeah.
this versus this. So and we were like, the taster glass makes more sense. Like, I'm not gonna drink a whole freaking like cup of whatever when I can just have the taster and it be fine. So it was cheaper to do it that way. But and everybody ended up getting glasses. Like, we saw a ton of people with them.
See, I would have liked it a little bit better if it could have been like, okay, you pay $50 and you can taste all you want.
Yeah,
we were
we
It's
were talking
difficult
about that.
to oh, I guess $50 would be a nice barrier for entry for it, but like you'd have to have them on a timetable because you don't know when everyone else is going to run out of stuff. Like,
So-
and some of them were timed pours, timed
Yeah.
tappings rather. So like they had the noon, 3, and 6 for tappings of things. So, and then some stuff was all day. So it did depend. But yeah, we were talking about that earlier with Gnarly Gnome.
Yeah, and talking with Gnome, we're like, no, the way they keep restructuring it every year, they keep building more on it, and that's what I was like, next year, I'm willing to bet we're going to see a lot more in the organization for the line come out,
And probably tickets.
and we're all like, yeah, they're going to swing full ticket next year. I have a feeling it'll be a station where you just convert your cash to tickets
Which I think is smarter.
and
I
just have it done with,
I don't
because there
know.
were certain places you could go that were doing cash and some that were doing credit, and it was hard to figure out what was happening where,
So,
which made the
The
tickets
issue
more
with
convenient.
that is that your wait staff will get tipped as bad or as well.
yeah,
well,
because they
yeah.
they're not paying for it, so they think they don't have to give them the
And
tip.
I'm paying with a 20. Well, I've only got a 20 on me, so how do I break that 20 into ones that where I, whenever I get a
Tick-
pour,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
true.
we were thinking, like, they structured they designed the beer after Dark Lord, and they designed the whole day after Dark Lord Day already.
Yeah.
So that's I'm like, they are going to keep this trend up, and I'm willing to bet in the next 5 years it is going to be exactly like Dark Lord Day. We are paying $200 for a ticket to get in. That gets you a bottle of everything, tickets for X amount of pours, and like food vouchers. And because that was like, I look at the end of the day, I'm already spending over $200 there for Dark
Chris?
Charge Day. So they might as well.
I don't think they'll ever make it ticketed to get in, but I think they'll do tickets for other stuff. Because what was confusing today was the food more than anything else. Because some places took cash, some places took card and cash. So like the food thing was a little weird, and it was odd the first time because it's not. Normally they have food trucks there, just like a lot of breweries do. And this time they didn't. They had a whole separate tent just for food, and the restaurants got like a whole setup in there and everything. So I think the tickets would make a lot of sense for the food. I think they could make sense for the beer, but yeah, I do agree with you on the tipping issue as far as the people working it. But it's also not like regular servers who are working it. It's like it's Braxton employees and then like people who have offered to help already. So like it's not like they're not getting paid a decent amount also. You know what I mean? Like they're not like just a catering server.
So, 2 questions. One, were the empanadas aquí?
They were not.
No food trucks.
Because no food trucks.
Oh.
They had Kung Fu Chews, which their food was like, eh.
It was basically rice because they're like, oh, there's
Yeah, it was short ribs.
short ribs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like this tiny,
With
minuscule.
dark charge sauce. Everything had the beer in it to some degree. So Wunderbar was there. They had chili that was with dark charge in it.
And gigantic squeezed things of sour cream that
Yeah.
everyone's just like, yeah, all the sour
Oh, no,
cream.
they had the beef stew and then the big pretzels. Molly Malone's was there and had chili. And then,
Molly Malone's was there.
yeah. Hotel
And
Covington
they are
was there.
definitely doing combined with the pub.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Hotel Covington was there and had cheesecake on a stick. And then they also had sandwiches. And then the Smoked Justice was there. It was all local stuff, all local places. Smoked Justice had dark charge brisket sandwiches. And then Flip Daddy's was there and had their French Connection burger with dark charge onion straws on it.
God, it's good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Don't like
so-
onions, but
Well, it's the crispy onion straw things, but anyway. What was your second question? Sorry.
second question, Chris, do you still in some way, or have you smuggled it away somewhere, of the original dark charge from that first day that we all went to?
So, that
Okay.
is in long-term storage because I do not have the space for all the
Oh,
beer.
is that a
No. I mean, is it in long-term storage?
Yes.
Like it exists.
It exists. I have pointedly not opened any of my bottles of the base.
So I have the base, and my question to you was going to be if you still had some of it.
Of the base?
I've had some that's been improperly stored, most likely, this whole time.
Yeah, I took all of my base dark charges and gave them to Jim to put down. He has a proper cellar.
Yeah.
So
I was
been
just curious if
properly
at some
cellared.
point we wanted to try to see how those tasted before I possibly move out of my current apartment. I don't know when that'll be, but
Well, I mean, we still have to talk about that. So.
it's a different issue that I'm going to wake up one morning just in northern Kentucky,
It's
not
coming.
having known how I got there because Brittany's kidnapped me.
And she just like rubs her hands.
I mean, you'll know how you got here, obviously. Like, it's just gonna be a surprise, and then you're gonna be like, okay.
Oh yeah. And since I know he's not actually watching,
Oh yeah, yeah.
my dad's Christmas present, because
They had the
they
coffee
went
again.
ape shit over it. The bourbon barrel aged starter coffee.
Oh,
I'll put it down
that was
in
there this year.
Yeah. It smelled amazing. I couldn't have any of it because of the caffeine, but Aaron got some, and I was like, I hate you.
But yeah, they kind of go all out on their packaging for some of this stuff, and it comes with a little card. They give you the name of the grower.
It's the Nicaraguan.
Yeah, it's Nicaraguan, so they give you the region, the farmer, the farm, the altitude, the varietal, the entire process. Like, they tell you everything
thing.
about this coffee. And it is absolutely amazing.
I can
There's-
literally smell it from here.
We could definitely do some rum barrel coffees.
I mean, I'd be fine with that.
But I can't drink it. Bob and I can't drink it.
Decaf beans.
Why can I not drink it? Oh, the
Caffeine.
caffeine.
It's
Look,
like,
I'll
why
deal
can't
with a
I have
headache.
it? Oh.
Bob has the inverse of the caffeine headache.
I really do. It's not right away, and you'll see about like 30 minutes of like me on meth, and then and then it's like just crash. My body doesn't know how to do it anymore.
Okay,
That's fair. Yeah, I'm getting there. I have like, I have decaf coffee now, so it's like 3 milligrams a day of caffeine, which is like not a real thing, basically.
Since we're post show, and I'm sure even Tyler's gotten sick of the
Oh, okay.
Tyler's gotten sick of the Braxton talk and probably left. But they did a partner brew with Kroger
Yeah.
called 66 Pearl.
It's delicious.
I will flop it down right here.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Yep, 66 Pearl.
Yeah, what's the
Braxton.
ABV on that one?
Yeah, so they're gonna do a beer partner. What would you say? What kind of beer do you think they would do if they're doing it with Kroger? It's like, oh, it's going in a grocery store chain, one of the biggest ones in the country. Well, it's probably gonna be a light, easy drinking beer. Like you think they do some kind of Storm variant or something like that, right? Like a nice cream ale.
I mean, that'd be my guess.
They decided to go with a bourbon barrel-aged Belgian-style golden ale, weighing in at 15.7% alcohol.
Good.
At what price?
$15 for a 4-pack.
There you go. Oh, per four pack. That's
Yeah.
actually not bad.
Four-pack.
It's
Yeah.
not even that bad. Like,
They are getting people lit, and it is dangerous. No,
I had it twice today and was like, oh.
You do
okay.
not taste. It does not taste 15%. You were just like,
It's good.
oh god.
It's really good. Like, if you like the Belgian style, like, oh. It's a Belgian strong ale, it says, but
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
yeah, it's so good. Bourbon barrel aged Belgian strong ale.
Tyler, don't worry. There might be an envoy coming your direction sometime, and they will be
Can I
loaded
say
down.
Can I say for the Trappist episode, I've got one of the books. It's got a picture of a monk drinking from or someone like in a somewhat monk-ish attire, drinking from one of the
Right.
double, triple style glasses. Every so I look at that and I'm trying to think of how I'm structuring the episode, and I almost go to Brian Rutledge's. The concept of resistance to fire is as old as time itself. The concept of monks making beer is as old as time.
Okay, every time I think about writing, this is like the 90s kid thing, but like every time I think about writing probably anything, like something that seems paper-like for school, I think of that Doug episode where he
Silt is.
Yes!
is. And then he has like, and then he just writes a whole Quail Man thing.
Yeah.
And then the end of the episode is still just like silt is.
Yeah, that
I
was
went
the
down a rabbit hole
procrastination
because I
episode.
discovered that the Hey Arnold movie thing exists now.
The Jungle movie.
The new one.
Yeah.
I have to
I haven't
watch
watched it yet. What I did do is find out that I could watch it. I paid like $4 to watch it on Amazon.
That's fair.
That's fine.
The original Hey Arnold.
Ooh.
Okay.
And like the first, like, yeah, okay, let's sit down and watch this because. And I got through 2 episodes before we started the show, and 2 of the little half episodes, so one full 30-minute block, and was like, oh, man, there is some nostalgia here.
Some Stoop Kid and some.
Oh god. Yeah.
I ain't got to Stoop Kid yet.
The
The fruit
banana
ones
and
off your
apple
guys, by the way.
costumes.
All right, later.
All right.
Strawberry.
See you guys.
sorry.
See ya.
Oh,
In case you had to go.
Okay.
It's just us now.
I love Hey Arnold.
What do we do?
Just us.
Wait. Yeah.
So there was
I
like
love Helga.
some sexual assault going on, really, like some real creepy stuff in that show with Helga and
And
Oh
Arnold.
yeah.
like she's
Well,
sneaking into his room and stealing like bits of his hair and
Yeah,
That's weird,
yeah. There's also there's the statue made out of gum that he's discarded.
Oh yeah, that creepy
Yeah.
ass like no, that's
I have problems with that for multiple reasons.
mm-hmm.
see at least
Ugh.
okay, Doug didn't get that creepy. I'm just gonna say.
No, it didn't. But it went to Disney for like
Oh, then it got ruined.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it was
2 or
terrible.
whatever seasons, and
Yeah. But no, Hey Arnold's great.
It's like Rugrats got ruined when they introduced Dill. I was like, no.
yeah.
Yeah.
They introduced Dill roughly the same time they introduced
Chucky's new sister.
Chucky's sister.
Shit.
That's her name, Chucky's new sister. Shit. Well, there were the finsters.
Which I mean, I guess
The
it's
ship
fine,
finster.
but they weren't. The show wasn't quite the same.
Yeah.
What is her name?
You didn't have moments like
I gotta look this up.
like Tommy's dad, Stu.
I've lost
Like,
control of.
Why are you making pudding at 3 a.m? Because I've lost control of my life. Or my favorite, absolute favorite episode
Kimmy.
entirely of Rugrats is when Chucky gets skunked.
Yes.
They're trying to
Yep.
get rid of it, and they cover him in perfume, and they take him back to his dad. And he says he's like, now he just smells like a skunk trying to get ready for a hot date.
Oh, look
Oh.
at that.
Oh, the dogfish. Yep.
Tyler.
Color
you
me
see it?
jealous. Where are the stickers? Where are the stickers? I'm running. Oh God.
The Dogfish Head bottle opener that he has.
I'm confused. What?
They're in my purse in the bed. We got a bunch of Founders stickers. Because we never, at anything we ever go to, we don't seem to get Founders swag.
Yeah.
We got a couple of big Founders stickers and then a couple of CBS stickers specifically. And oddly enough, like we were looking at them after, we were like, wait, these aren't stickers. They're temporary tattoos for Founders.
Ugh.
I'm back. So
And then,
yeah,
a
down
couple
the
of koozies,
bottle
too.
cam.
That's
We
a
got-
tattoo.
Founders temporary tattoos.
I was like, we need to save that for a special occasion, first of all. But
Just like
I'm
giant
gonna wake
stickers.
up one morning with this shit on my face, aren't I?
well, I mean, now that you said it,
So maybe we need to put some of this swag in another pack and do some kind of contesty thing. If some people would
Yeah.
want some Founders swag.
yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. Yeah, I don't remember us ever getting a whole lot of Founders
Yeah.
actual
They
swag
never-
from them.
That's why I like Pounce. They just had like giant packs of swag, and I was just like up there just grabbing it all. I was like, because they never put it out at any festivals.
They had bottle openers, but I was like, I have like so many bottle openers.
Oh man. Oh lordy.
So, this was a good episode, I
Sorry,
think.
my
Like,
back
I
just
really like
popped.
that pick.
A number of spots at the same time.
Nice. Oh, now I have to have a bathroom break.
Yeah. Tyler, if it's not gonna be too much, I could make you more jealous. So I didn't actually get to go over all the variants we had. So we had the mole. We have. It's just the
Mole.
regular. We have the cherry vanilla. We have. What was it? Tiramisu. That's what the other one was.
Ooh.
So they didn't do, like, we had a lengthy conversation with a couple people about this being a Russian Imperial Stout barrel aged, and there wasn't a coffee or a vanilla variant. And they're like, no, we did it mixed. And then the vanilla is just gone. It's drowned out in the coffee.
So have you guys spent enough time now at Braxton and plus on like some other Cincinnati podcasts that you're like, super tight with Braxton's ownership now?
We are not super tight. He is not. Our inn is not super tight with them.
That's fine. I just was making a joke just because.
But no, it is. It has to be said to go back and listen to that episode when Brittany's on Cincy Brewcast at Braxton for Big Sis, because she calls everything. The level of uncomfortable when you go back knowing is hilarious. So they're going through the beer like, oh, we have new cans coming out, and Brittany's like, oh my god, it better be Deblo a starter. And things get awkward really quick. And then they're like, oh, we have this big collaboration coming up, and blah, blah, blah. Starts talking about it. And as soon as they say, oh, we had to fly them up, Brittany stops and goes, it's Sweetwater. And then he just, like, keeps barreling forward, just, like, starts blabbing about nothing, just to try and move the conversation past because she guessed it, just, like, out of nowhere.
I haven't had time to catch up on that, so that's going to be a
Yeah,
treat
guess
when I get to
Sweetwater
listen to
thing.
it.
But like, to be fair, like I wasn't trying to guess the can thing. I was just like, please God, like it was more of a hope. So and of course I've already bought a pack because again, as I told the freaking CEO in the episode, I was like, this is my favorite beer, period, like ever. Like just you don't understand. Oh yeah, there's the. I like
man.
the cans too. Yep.
No, so our apartment's just like, no, you guys get to live up there and just your best friend's the Braxton guy, and
Both of our bartenders were there today, and they both said hi to
Oh.
us. So
they're like, why have you been around as much? We moved.
no, we already had that conversation with them. And the one guy actually noticed me.
They
because
were
everybody
concerned.
always notices
They're like,
him.
"Did-"
Nobody ever remembers me, but they remember a guy with beard. So like
What?
they.
Yeah.
Which doesn't work out when you're trying to smuggle extra tickets for the beer drawing.
No, that's
'Cause
true.
they're
Well,
like,
no,
I
that's why you
remember
send
you.
Brittany to go smuggle extra tickets.
That's what I'm here for, I guess. But no, like the one guy even like said hi, and I was like, oh hi, like he actually remembered me. But he's like one of our bartenders, and
Kelly says, "Hey, walkers."
yeah, walkers, hello. You know, Bob, if you moved up here, then you would have that same thing, and
Not gonna lie, there was some job searching done this week.
Tyler, if you all move down here,
oh, you're
you
not getting
could-
Tyler to move down from Maine. I wouldn't move from Maine.
holy
Fresh seafood,
Lord,
holy crap.
I didn't.
So, in addition to the miracle fruit for future episode usage, I may have gotten something else that could get me into some legal trouble.
Oh.
Oh,
I may have bought the trainer lockpick set from Modern Rogue.
I want to get that.
I mean, I can bring it up when I come up next time. Let you play around with it.
I'd be interested in that actually.
It's I haven't had a lot of time. Like you can get past the first pin and 2 pins kind of easy. I'm working. I need some time to like sit down and like really figure out what all the lockpick
Yeah.
things are.
Post show beer.
I'm waiting for the day when I have it, and then I eventually buy the. It's like a pocket knife, but with lockpicks instead.
Right, yeah.
And just so I get locked out somewhere. Hold on,
I got this.
problem solved.
Oh yeah. So, go ahead and try some
I'm starting
Santa's.
to read Tyler's chat thing.
Oh, in a couple weeks. Oh crap! You gotta work that day.
What is it?
That sucks.
My favorite beer. Oh. Ugh.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, this
hopefully
is the
that
story
works
of my
out for you.
life.
I had to do someone else's job to make sure I was off in time to go like fight people for
Oh,
CBS.
it's tasty.
My coworkers found it funny when I came back and explained to them. I was like, "Oh yeah, no, I had like I took my time off and I got my special beer release. Oh, that's good. I also spent $60 some on 1/4 of one beer.
Yep. We still have to go through that too.
Get ready on New Year's. There will be a Utopia's tasting episode.
Man, the
New
question
Year's is
do we
going to
do
be
that
off
during
the
the Diamond
chain.
stream or not? Or is that just us?
Huh?
No, that'll be a stream. So
Because I'm
the
assuming
New
we
Year's-
will be doing something similar to what we did the last time, where we got
Yeah.
wrecked.
so that stuff's going to
before the
be
stream.
for post show. That stuff's going to roll to Patreon, but big old butt. Everything will be free live. Like we're recording a bunch of stuff that'll be like entry level for Patreon, and
So you guys still have to get all those goals together. Like I don't
Wait.
even.
no, that our thought was all these tasting things that we're going to start doing more frequently are going to be like at a $5 Patreon tier, and you get access to that RSS feed. But on Twitch, you just get it like flat out. If you want to be here live to watch it, then be here, and you don't have to do the Patreon level to get it. I mean, we'd prefer you did, but
I mean, maybe we eventually get to where we get Twitch
Affiliation. Yeah.
affiliate.
Affiliation.
Partner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Partner's like the next step up. So
Okay.
partner's a little more involved.
Yeah, but something where you get, you can just give us your Amazon dollars.
I want a
Yeah.
marshmallow stout. So, who is it? Like, what's the release you guys are going to, Tyler? I gotta know
I mean,
because
we're
we
probably
were.
not gonna have heard
Or
of the
that
brewery.
he's got.
I was
got,
talking with people in
bartenders
line
saving.
about you all today and about like some of the beers you all have access to and the breweries because a lot of people were talking about Bissell Brothers, and everyone's like, they're so underrated right now for some effing reason with such amazing beer. And I was like, holy crap, yeah. Barreled Souls. Holy shit, yeah.
Come on, Daddy. Daddy's
Oh.
gonna whistle. Come on, baby. Daddy's gonna whistle. Tell about Ezekiel Bissell. Sorry. He covered more miles than.
So I love that special that you were just seeing that
Referencing?
from.
Yeah.
Is it anywhere? Can you find it still?
The only place I've ever seen it was Matt's On Demand, like more than a decade ago.
Yeah, that's. I don't know of anywhere, because I know the special was called The Stories That Made Up America and The Stories America Made Up.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
And it's amazing. Like, it's an hour and a half of the actual best information about American history you can get. And it's, what was his name?
Wasn't that on HBO?
I don't even remember. All I remember
It's
is
the guy who
like,
played
the
Arliss.
rhyme about.
But yeah, it was on HBO, so you could probably get it on
It's probably
HBO
on
now.
HBO still, yeah.
Somewhere maybe in their comedy section. Man. I love that thing, but at the same time, I'm also like, oh, American history. It's okay. It's the one I've had the most experience with. I'm in the middle of a hardcore history binge of the fall of the Roman Empire.
So Europe, where the history comes from.
So do you want my translated Gallic Wars from Caesar
Yes.
to read
Sorry. Sorry, I heard translated Gallic Wars from Caesar. Yes. And that's all I had to hear. Like, oh,
It's his translated war diaries from...
Yeah, no, I know exactly what it is. If I took some work, I could try to actually read it in Latin, but it's been, again, more than a decade since I tried to do any Latin reading.
That's why I pounced on this when I found English translation of it. I was like, holy shit, nope, mine.
But his war correspondent, like the way he wrote was simple enough that first year Latin students centuries later can kind of make their way through it. So it's readable, and it was made for, the common man. It's interesting from a historical perspective because, it's Caesar propaganda. At the same time, like, you're not sure how much of it is true and how much of it is, propaganda. But
yeah,
it is at least firsthand account of sources, which is amazing when you're looking at wartime stuff.
you never get firsthand accounts for that kind of thing. It is really rare.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, for this can down here, that is not Santa on Santa's Bribe. That is William Howard Taft dressed as Santa Claus in a bathtub with a sack full of cookies, because it's a Christmas cookie ale.
Look, he never got stuck in a bathtub. I'm sorry to ruin the illusion for everyone,
really
but
good
it never
marketing,
happened.
The marketing is genius, and I love that when you go down to the brewery, all the tap handles are gavels.
Yeah, that is true, and he was much happier as a Supreme Court justice than he ever was as president.
Yeah. But
Probably
the
did a
beer
much
is
better
also really
job
good.
there than he did as president too. But he didn't have a tumultuous time necessarily to live through. So,
And we have to celebrate them because, hey, they brought home gold from GABF.
They did. You know what they also should have brought home gold for? Quarter chickens and tri-tip steaks.
Oh, that steak though.
Fucking right. Oh yeah.
Oh man.
All right, we've blabbed long enough. I
Yeah.
think we need to
Got a
wrap
little
this
off
up.
topic, so-
Let's
And I'm
All right,
barely...
once we start getting into history topics, it's like, maybe it's time we.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in, though. Hey.
Yeah, sorry.
Tyler,
Well,
guys.
just for me in general, but
No. All right. Well, I guess bye, Tyler. And then if anybody else who's watching who isn't in chat, thank you.
bye.